Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm Sayward Moon. You probably know that by now. If you don't, nice to meet you. So, I said a couple weeks ago that I was going to give an update on what was going on in my life, and this is that update. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I'm seeing from clients recently and kind of give some advice, some general advice. So, stay tuned. The update. My daughter's doing really well. The medication that she was given seems to be effective so far, and the side effects of that are starting to wear off, so she's feeling much happier than she did, and overall, we're just, again, taking it day by day. It's going to be a long road, a long process, and likely a lifelong process, but we're here for it. So that's that. Things are good. Again, thank you guys so much for all of your support. I'm continuing to receive messages from people checking in and asking how things are going on my end, and I super appreciate it. I did not expect the response that I received, and so, I was absolutely, at one point, brought to tears by it because I give a lot to people and I don't ask for a lot back, and you guys really just came through for me when I needed it. So again, thank you. All right, update over. Let's talk a little bit about what may be going on in your life. So recently I've been getting a lot of messages from new clients and even some clients who had had success with me but then decided to change the course of their life, and now they're facing similar issues. To preface all of this, let's just think back, okay? We just went through retrograde again, and understandably, a lot of us struggled during that. Now, for me, my retrograde was pretty smooth until the last day, and then boom, everything hit. So you may have been struggling for the last couple months, the last couple weeks, Anyway, the point is that a lot of us are struggling with a lot of different stuff. For some people, it manifested as health issues. For other people, it's manifested as relationship issues and particularly communication issues. So I want to give some tips here as to how we can kind of navigate those things. You should know that it's been my experience talking to now thousands of people that many people do not communicate well. We're just not good at it, okay? A lot of people have great big feelings, great big thoughts, and very scant amount of ability to navigate those big feelings and those thoughts in a way that is communicated effectively. So many of you are dealing with partners who are being outwardly rude, who are saying one thing but acting another, people who say that they love you, people who say that they want to be with you, and yet they're with someone else or they're listening to someone else. And I have to tell you that relationships are a two-way street, okay? So while I can give you advice about how to communicate more effectively, you have to realize that you can only reach half of that road to success, right? In a relationship, be it a business relationship or a loving relationship, family, whatever, okay? You can only do so much. So let's recognize that. Now, if you are dealing with a person who is consistently negative, argumentative, mean-spirited, that's rough. It's just rough. And there's only so much that you can do. So, my advice in these kinds of situations is to first take a deep breath. And remember, you do have a choice. Okay? You do have a choice in this situation. Now, some people enjoy drama. I don't know if you can believe that or not, but it's true because you've probably already experienced it at some point in your life. Some people feed off of negativity. Some people create arguments just to argue. Now, for those of us who are not of this predilection, it is frustrating and aggravating and every other synonym for making you want to tear your hair out, okay? Realize that before a conversation even begins, before an argument even begins, you have a choice. You have a choice to respond or not respond, okay? A lot of times when a person is just trying to amp you up, just trying to poke your buttons and see what it's going to take to get you mad, if you don't respond, they'll continue trying to do that. And if you're aware of that behavior, you can see it then for what it is. Oh, you are trying to provoke me. You are trying to cause problems in my life. You are trying to get me mad. You want me to get mad, okay? So for people in situations like this where they want you to get mad, by getting mad, you're giving them what they want, okay? They're not trying to come to some sort of resolution, some sort of agreement, some sort of understanding. They're literally just trying to upset you. So, ask yourself, is this the kind of interaction that you want to have? Is it? Because if you are a person who likes to argue and you want to argue with this person, by all means, here's your opportunity. However, if you're like a lot of us and you're sick and tired of the BS and you're tired of fighting about stuff that goes nowhere and you're tired of always being the one at fault and you're tired of having arguments that are just for the sake of argument, then stop yourself before it even happens, okay? You can not respond. There are a couple different ways to not respond. Number one, ignore it. Literally, this person's talking to you. I can't hear you. Yes, it sounds a little third grade, but it works. Another way to communicate this is to say, I don't feel like arguing with you right now. When you're ready to have a conversation with me that is calm and meaningful, I'm here. And then ignore it. Okay? You are allowed to set boundaries for yourself. You are allowed to decide how you will respond. Now, if you would like another option, perhaps, you may take a more direct route. I feel that you are trying to get me to argue with you. I do not have the energy to argue with you today. When you're ready to have a constructive conversation with me, we can talk. Okay? See the behavior. When you see the behavior for what it is, call it out. Because a lot of times the people who are just trying to create drama, just trying to push your buttons, they're doing this because it's worked before and because they enjoy being able to get this emotional response out of you. When you directly call out this behavior, I see that you're trying to argue with me. I see that you're trying to push my buttons. I see that you're trying to upset me. And following that with, it's not going to work when you want to have a conversation with me that is going to be meaningful, suddenly the jig's up. It's not so much fun anymore. Now, they may keep trying to poke your buttons. I know some people like that, where they'll just move to something else and poke over there and see if they can get you upset. Or they'll move to the past and they'll poke over there and see if they can get you upset, okay? If you are cognizant that this is what's going on, you can shut those things down, okay? When you don't feed into this, when you don't give them what they want, that energy exchange where they're being negative and now suddenly you're being negative and then they're enjoying it because they got a rise out of you, you're not so tasty anymore, okay? You're not such a great target anymore. Now, granted, this is probably not just going to stop all of the problems every single time if you only do it once, okay? This is a practice. All right, this is a practice that we do to stop feeding that energy, to cut that cord, so to speak. Okay? Now, there are people who will have arguments with you for the sake of arguing, but there are also people who argue because they just don't really communicate any other way effectively. What we can do in those situations, if you decide that this person is actually trying to come to you with an actual problem that you guys actually should address, then you can kind of try to help them through that communication, okay? There is a book that I highly recommend that you check out. It's called Nonviolent Communication, okay? Now, I will tell you that it's kind of a boring read, but if you're interested in learning how to communicate with people more effectively and to, in turn, help other people communicate more effectively when they lack the skills, this might be a good read for you. So, this person lacks the skills, they lack the communication ability, they're coming to you because they're mad and they got big feelings and they're just mad, okay? See them as a child. I don't mean treat them as a child. I mean see them as a child, okay? When we're little, we have great big feelings and great big thoughts, and we often feel like we're not heard, okay? We tell our parents something and our parents dismiss us or tell us to go away or and some of us go into adulthood with this same mentality. Like, I have to scream in order to get some attention, all right? So one of the ways that we can handle this when a person is coming to us in this way is to first address our body language, okay? If this person starts this argument and you're on your phone, drop it. It's basic respect, okay? Put your phone down, put it on silent, all right? Then you want to face your body towards this person, right? I'm eyes, ears, I'm facing you, I'm giving you my attention, I'm looking at you, okay? Simply moving your body can be a powerful tool in diffusing the need to act out, okay? Because if this argument, if this provocation is to get your attention, then by giving your attention, oftentimes we can remove the need for that aggressive behavior, okay? So clear off your schedule. If you're going to have this conversation with this person, give them the respect that they deserve. Turn off your phone, look at them, and breathe, all right? When we get into these one-on-one conversations, it is a mirroring process, okay? So when you take a deep breath and you calm yourself, and they can see that your face is getting calm, not okay? And you're giving them your full attention, and they can see you taking a deep breath to breathe, to calm, to ground, to center yourself into the moment so that you can process what they're saying, think effectively, and communicate properly. This sends them a signal, all right? A lot of times when you do this in a one-to-one situation, you're going to notice that that person drops their shoulders and they breathe, all right? Now again, if you're being dismissive and rude about that breath, you're probably going to get the same thing, okay? You have to come with respect, because if what you expect to receive is respect, you got to give a little to get a little, okay? So just those things. Now, there are other tips that, especially if you read the book that I just mentioned, you will get a plethora of, okay? I'm not going to go into those here, but I will say this. If you are in a communication with a person who is notoriously argumentative and you've done the body language thing and you're now establishing a connection, it is important that you listen more than you speak, okay? Because we have this need in conversation to speak our truths, right? And it's very well may be that in this conversation, they're saying things that aren't true. They're saying things that are inflammatory. They're saying things that are just completely, you don't even know where they're coming from, okay? Give the person the space to be able to speak, all right? You have all the time in the world after they're done speaking to be able to pick apart, digest, dissect, and address what it is that they're saying, okay? But I will tell you 100%, zero people like to be interrupted. Especially if they are this type of big heart, big mind, scant speech. They are trying so hard to contain what's going on in here that's making them feel this and pushing it up here to come up with words that then come out here. All right? So it's not going to come out beautifully. It's not going to come out correctly all the time. It's not going to be pleasant often. It is our job, if we want to help this person to communicate more effectively, teach them how to do that. And I don't mean, well, you should say this because this book says this. No. Nobody wants to hear that either, right? Because what it sounds like is, I'm wrong, you're right, you're better than me. Nobody wants to hear that, even if that's not what you mean, okay? So give the person who is time to speak their truth. Once you've done that, you have another option. You can choose to immediately address all of these things, or you can say, I've heard what you've said, and I need time to think about what you've said. Because I want to tell you how I feel, and I want to be able to discuss these things, but I need time to think about this. And then stop communicating, okay? This person may be like, well, fine, go think about it. Or, oh, so you don't have anything to say? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have anything to say, okay? Because you didn't join into an argument. You joined into a conversation. Now, I would recommend that you set up a specific time. I need 10 minutes to think about this. I need an hour to think about this. Can we talk about this tomorrow morning after breakfast? Can we talk about this tonight at dinner? Whatever it may be, okay? But then here's the tricky part. You have to meet that deadline. And you're probably going to be the one who needs to address it, right? Because you've upset this person by not wanting to engage them on their terms. So if you've taken over how the terms are going to be, you have to do the follow through. You are required and responsible to do the follow through. So do not be that person who says, I need time to think about this, and then you never, ever try to talk about it again. Don't do that, okay? Meet them where they are. Realize that you have choices. Use breath and body language to have a lot of communication even without speaking. Take your time to think. Take your time to mull things over. And when you're ready, on your terms, go back and address those things. Okay? It's much easier to act and speak with love when we are grounded and when we are calm. So allow yourself all the time that you need to find that. If you use these tips, you may find that you have better communication. As always, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. If you're having love problems, money issues, job problems, a mean aunt, whoever, whatever, go ahead, please do get a hold of me, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Good luck.